Hello, YouTubers and all those who happen to watch. Oh man, hope you guys are all doing good. Alright, this is a video response towards Davetheuseless's thesis on why GameStop blows Major Chode. Supposedly, one of his gripes, which I only think I really pointed out because to me the rest of it was just kinda, you kinda hear it all the time kind of thing. One of the things he pointed out was supply and demand. One of his key things he was pointing out that he was disheartened because they don't supposedly, put enough for normal common items. So he felt it was inconvenient that he would have to place an order for a game that he can walk into the store the day it comes out and pick it up and, essentially grab it. Now that's of course what GameStop essentially based himself off of, supply and demand. And some of these managers know full well, if I have to order a bunch of these and they don't sell, I'm going to sit in a store full of product that is not going to sell eventually. Now, of course, yes, the Nintendo 3DS is a good handheld. A lot of people like it essentially, especially in the community, especially everywhere else. However, it isn't quite the most popular item to date. It isn't. Xbox 360 and the PS3 is essentially still one of the highest selling consoles for product in the store, and that's why they mostly focus on that. And most of the handheld games they know aren't going to essentially sell all the way through, and that's why they don't essentially keep a bunch or order a bunch of extra games, such as Mario Kart 7. Let's face it, to me, it looks like the same old game over. Now, that of course, that's a biased opinion on my standpoint. Now, as I know, someone's probably going to pick apart my logic behind this. Again, let's put it this way. Why order a bunch of stuff you know is not going to sell? It's going to sit in the store over time and it's just going to rot. Yes, they're going to crack open the game, rip out all the inserts, and put the game cartridge inside of a sleeve somewhere and toss it in a drawer where it's going to sit in time until someone eventually comes through with a one of their little sales and picks up the game at like 25 bucks, making the store somewhat come to a loss versus them just, grabbing a bunch of copies that they know are essentially going to sell, versus which are the pre-orders, and then order about 25 units of it, playing it safe, keep an extra dough in the pocket. And of course, by dough, it's pretty much common sense. They sell at a rampant rate, being that they only order stuff they know it's going to go out of the store. Let's look at all the sports titles they always get dragged into their store. All that stuff's eventually not going to sell at all. It's just sitting there collecting dust. They have bins and bins and bins of sports titles that just sit there and collect dust. Now, I know full well that Mario Kart 7 would probably sell a hell of a lot better versus those sports titles, but again, you see my point. It's just going to eventually sit there. Some 8-year-old or some 12-year-old's going to look at that game eventually when it's sale day and pick it up then. But they eventually, as he also mentioned, that there's a lot of chains of these game stores, and it's convenient that way. So if they're so close to each other, when I usually find out that the game's not in stock with one store, I go and call up another store, which is conveniently located near it, so I can pick up the game that way. So again, it's not bad logic to think, a couple extra copies is nice. At the same time, I know, of course, he was just using a random number as 200. However, again, you got to look at it like this. Some of these store managers don't want to come to a loss with extra product in their store, so that's why they keep it simple. So again, I get not trying to pick apart his logic, just pointing out the obvious. So take it easy, folks. Thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you, Dave, for the video. Take care, everybody.